Tonight, the shooting, the search, and now the suspect in custody. Our first look at the 22-year-old arrested after a multi-day manhunt. His father helping to turn him in. Plus, the new surveillance video showing the accused assassin fleeing from the roof where he fired his fatal shot. What the suspect's family told authorities he said about Charlie Kirk. Also tonight, the powerful words from the governor of Utah, calling this a make-or-break moment in American history, pleading for people to tone down their rhetoric and listen to one another.
This is our moment. Do we escalate or do we find an off-ramp?
Plus, the deadly confrontation near Chicago between an ICE officer and a man DHS says is here illegally. They say the suspect dragged an officer with his car who then shot him. Now, new immigration raids expected there, and what city President Trump says he plans to send troops to next. COVID vaccines and kids, the Trump administration reportedly planning to link COVID shots to the deaths of 25 children using evidence from an unverified reporting system. Doctors say the vaccine is safe. Their message to parents of young kids tonight. The emergency landing for a United flight, passengers forced to evacuate down slides. What happened? She's called Ghost Pepper, a curious octopus with an ocean of followers, and why so many feel, despite those 8 arms, she has a real human touch. Nightly News starts right now.
This is NBC Nightly News with Tom Yamas.
And good evening. It has been a violent week in America, and after more than 30 tense hours on the run, the man authorities believe is responsible for the brutal killing of Charlie Kirk is in custody. 22-year-old Tyler Robinson is expected to face charges including aggravated murder. The suspect's father helping turn his own son in. Authorities are combing through evidence, including surveillance videos, family interviews, and online message boards. And amid such heated rhetoric, the governor of Utah urged the country to choose a different path in the wake of violence. But still, so many are shaken tonight across the country. Morgan Chesky has been tracking it all and starts us off from Utah.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got him.
Tonight, after a manhunt that lasted just 33 hours, police say they've caught the suspect who assassinated conservative activist Charlie Kirk. 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, arrested for suspicion of aggravated murder and other charges. Authorities say his family turned him in.
A family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident.
Law enforcement sources tell NBC News that family member was Robinson's own father, who contacted a family friend, identified as a minister, and that's when local sheriffs were alerted. Robinson lives in Washington County, Utah, and is currently a student at Dixie Technical College, where he's in the electrical apprenticeship program.
Congratulations.
Video from 2021 shows Robinson reading a scholarship letter from Utah State University, which he attended for 1 semester.
Approximately $32,000.
Utah's governor says family members told them Robinson recently brought up Charlie Kirk's upcoming visit to the Utah Valley University's campus, saying he did not agree with him.
In the conversation with another family member, Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints that he had.
And tonight, police revealing more evidence uncovered in their investigation, including taunting inscriptions written on 3 unfired rounds they recovered. One of them reading, "Hey fascist, catch," followed by arrow symbols. Another with the lyrics of an anti-fascist song from Italy.
That's a piece of evidence that is not normal, and so it shows there was some kind of intent there to deliver a message.
Investigators also interviewed Robinson's roommate, who showed the messages they say Robinson wrote on the platform Discord, saying he needed to retrieve a rifle left behind.
A message referring to having left the rifle wrapped in a towel. The messages also refer to engraving bullets.
Discord tonight saying it has found no evidence that the suspect planned this incident or promoted violence on Discord. This morning, President Trump announcing the arrest.
I think with a high degree of certainty, we have him in custody.
The head of Utah's DPS telling me their investigation is far from over.
Is it your belief that Robinson is the sole perpetrator in this case?
We are very confident that Robinson was the only shooter at this scene.
Authorities say Robinson arrived on campus earlier than initially thought at 8:29 a.m. wearing a T-shirt and shorts, only to leave and return in a different outfit, the same one seen in these enhanced photos, and then again later when authorities say Robinson ran and jumped off a nearby roof to escape. Authorities say video near the scene shows Robinson drove a Dodge Challenger to the campus. Today at the family home, a Challenger was seen parked in the driveway. Tonight, family, friends, and neighbors left stunned.
And I feel for his mom. I love Amber. She's a great mom, and he has a great dad.
All of it happening as Kirk's body arrived back in his home state of Arizona, flown on Air Force Two with Vice President Vance and Kirk's widow, Erica, seen waving to supporters as they left the airport. With a growing memorial for Kirk in Phoenix, this message tonight from the FBI director.
Lastly, to my friend Charlie Kirk, rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla.
Morgan joins us now live. Authorities say they have their man, and the governor signaled early on what the punishment could be.
Yeah, Tom, the governor has stressed that the death penalty remains on the table here, and it does apply in cases of aggravated murder. As for tonight, Tyler Robinson remains inside this county jail being held without bail and should be formally charged on Tuesday. Tom?
Morgan Chesky leading us off once again from Utah. All right, Morgan, now to those powerful words calling for unity after yet another disturbing act of political violence. Utah's governor with a plea to end what he calls a dark chapter in our history. Here's Gabe Gutierrez.
Tonight, just minutes after announcing the arrest of the suspect police say killed Charlie Kirk.
It is an attack on all of us. This cuts to the very foundation of who we are.
An urgent call to lower the temperature.
That's the problem with political violence, is it metastasizes, because we can always point the finger at the other side. And at some point, we have to find an off-ramp.
Utah Governor Spencer Cox calling the moment much bigger than one person's assassination.
I absolutely believe that this is a watershed in American history, yes. The question is what kind of watershed? And that chapter remains to be written. Is this the end of a dark chapter in our history or the beginning of a darker chapter in our history?
Echoed by top Democrats.
We just have to change the rhetorical nature of our debate.
The president also remembering Kirk.
He was an advocate of nonviolence. That's the way I'd like to see people respond.
Kirk's assassination at just 31 years old has devastated those who knew him.
Charlie was a friend, but who's really hurting today is his family, you know.
But it's also shaken people who disagreed with him. Kirk was killed while answering questions from people who did not share his views, like he often did at campus events. People like Hunter Kozak.
It's awful, and a father doesn't have his kids anymore.
Kozak was asking Kirk about gun violence the moment he was shot, now posting this plea.
Is still a human being. Have we forgotten that? Are we crazy? Like, I stand by so little of everything that he said, but one of the things that he stood by was conversation.
The president has ordered that flags remain at half-staff in honor of Kirk through Sunday evening. Tom.
All right, Gabe Gutierrez at the White House, and Kristen Welker interviews Governor Spencer Cox this weekend on a big episode of Meet the Press. Now to the soaring tensions around immigration raids today in the Chicago area. DHS said an ICE agent shot a man they say is here illegally after he allegedly resisted arrest and dragged that agent with his car. Here's Maggie Vespa.
In suburban Chicago, a blood-stained car marking a deadly flashpoint in America's immigration raids. The Department of Homeland Security saying ICE officers in Franklin Park tried stopping a vehicle driven by 38-year-old Silverio Villegas Gonzalez, but say he refused to follow commands and drove his car at law enforcement officers, dragging one a significant distance. ICE saying that officer, who sustained severe injuries, feared for his life, shooting Villegas Gonzalez, who later died at the hospital. DHS describes the individual as a criminal illegal alien with a history of reckless driving, though a review of Villegas Gonzalez's publicly available records by NBC News found no criminal charges. Records show he pleaded guilty to 4 traffic violations, including speeding, the most recent in 2013.
Wow. 2 shots.
Yes.
An auto shop surveillance camera capturing the sound of gunshots.
I knew that ICE was going to be near the area, but this really hits close to home.
It follows weeks of protests against immigration raids in Chicago, which President Trump's dubbed Operation Midway Blitz in his latest crackdown in Democratic-led cities from our nation's capital, and suggesting recently New Orleans could be next, to now this.
We're going to Memphis. Memphis that's the next city. Deeply troubled.
The latest stats show violent crime in Memphis this year is down 17%.
We reached out to the family of Villegas Gonzalez. We haven't yet heard back. ICE confirming late today that he is from Mexico. And it's worth noting tensions in and around Chicago were high already ahead of Mexican Independence Day celebrations set for Sunday. Tom?
Okay, Maggie, thank you. College campuses around the country have been on high alert, with several forced to lock down due to threats in just the last 24 hours. Ryan Nobles reports after a scare at the Naval Academy led to a midshipman being shot.
Tonight, tension and anxiety are on the rise across America. The University of Colorado Boulder campus evacuated today, officials later determining it was a hoax. While in New York, NYU says a number of offices received, quote, racist threats of violence aimed at black members of our community. Several historically black colleges and universities have reported similar threats, leading to campus lockdowns, canceled classes, and activities postponed.
At the very top of our list has always been the safety and security of our student body.
At the U.S. Naval Academy, an online threat forcing a lockdown.
Attention. Lockdown. Lockdown.
A source telling NBC News in the midst of the frenzy, a current midshipman mistakenly thought a responding member of law enforcement was a threat, leading to an altercation where the officer shot the midshipman.
I thought this would be the safest place, considering it's a military academy. I don't know what's going on in this country right now. I don't understand.
In Washington, bomb threats were reported 2 days in a row at the headquarters of the Democratic National Committee.
You can't take chances.
Former Capitol Police Chief Tom Manger warns every threat must be taken seriously, even if most turn out to be false.
Those are the kinds of disruption that the people who initiate these kinds of calls, these fake threats, this is what they want.
And the Navy says that midshipman who was injured during the lockdown was shot in the shoulder. He was treated at the hospital and released today. Tom?
All right, Ryan Nobles for us. We want to turn now to a major medical headline. A key CDC panel will meet next week to discuss the COVID vaccine. And NBC News has learned FDA officials are expected to link the deaths of 25 children to the vaccine. But doctors say evidence shows the shots are safe for kids. Here's Ann Thompson.
A new salvo tonight in the fight over who should get COVID vaccines this year. A source confirming to NBC News that FDA officials will present data they claim links 25 deaths of children to the COVID vaccine. The presentation will be made to the CDC's Vaccine Advisory Committee, a development startling health officials.
I think what we're going to see is a fountain of lies, junk science, and fear-mongering.
Fears based on Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s comments before he was Health and Human Services Secretary.
This is the deadliest vaccine ever made.
3 sources tell NBC the FDA's data comes from the Vaccine Adverse Event Reporting System, or VAERS, run by the CDC. Anyone can report an event, but that doesn't mean it was caused by the vaccine, as is emphasized many times on the website. The CDC collects information to see if a pattern should be investigated. FDA Commissioner Dr. Marty McCary last week.
We're talking to the primary sources, the family members who lost a child. We're reviewing the autopsy reports.
The Vaccine Integrity Project reviewed the scientific data from last COVID season.
Did you find any evidence that it's causing deaths in children?
In our review, we did not find any new evidence that linked the COVID vaccine to safety around deaths and mortality.
Jackie Matthews, mom of 2 boys, including a cancer survivor, wants them to get the vaccine.
I do wholeheartedly believe that our symptoms would be more manageable and potentially keep us out of the hospital and hopefully keep us from dying.
Ann Thompson joins us tonight here live on set. And I know you have an update to that story we had last week about the reports of potentially Tylenol and pregnant women taking it and the links possibly to autism.
That's right, Tom. Tylenol's maker met with Secretary Kennedy this week to insist that acetaminophen does not cause autism. And it pointed to the FDA's own finding that there's no clear evidence that taking the pain reliever during pregnancy causes adverse outcomes. Tom?
An important update there. All right, Ann, we thank you. When we return in 60 seconds, the fine Boeing is now facing after a series of incidents, and how an octopus named Ghost Pepper is touching so many and teaches us all about life. That's next. We're back now with the story of an octopus who has captured the hearts of visitors in person and fans online. Here now is Emily Ikeda with her next chapter.
At the Aquarium of the Pacific in California, this giant Pacific octopus first arrived last summer quite small.
She was only 4 pounds and so tiny.
But that tiny-sized cephalopod quickly earned the name Ghost Pepper for her rambunctiousness. This is how she gets weighed.
I am winded.
And as she's grown, so has her following. One person posting, "I have her tattooed."
Often octopuses show shy tendencies, but that wasn't really the case with Ghost.
Yeah, she's very spunky and outgoing.
But this week, a gutting update on Ghost, as the aquarium announced the octopus has entered senescence, the final stage of life after laying eggs. Fans sharing an outpouring of love online, writing, "She's made so many people happy, and she's my first stop whenever I come and visit."
I remember the day when it all started.
Fascination with octopuses soared after the 2020 Netflix documentary My Octopus Teacher spotlighted a rare relationship forged between a filmmaker and common octopus. Giant Pacific octopuses like Ghost have one of the longest lifespans of any kind of octopus, 3 to 5 years, which is the range Ghost is believed to be in.
And what we really want to do is inspire people to care about the ocean and protecting habitats where ghosts live.
As this octopus's 8 arms have reached into America's heart. Emily Ikeda, NBC News.
All right, when we return, the emergency onboard flight that had passengers exiting via emergency slides. What happened next? Stay with us. We're back now with an alarming scene after a flight made an emergency landing in Japan. Passengers exiting via emergency slides from the United Airlines flight that was heading to the Philippines. The airline says it was diverted over concerns about a potential fire on board, but none was found. 2 passengers had minor injuries. And the FAA proposing a $3.1 million fine against Boeing over what the agency calls a series of safety violations from September 2023 to February 2024 that included this incident you may remember last year when a door plug blew out on an Alaska Airlines flight. Boeing says it regrets that incident and says it's working on improving safety. And a strange one tonight. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. You've heard this before after these 2 men were filmed allegedly stealing him from a Jersey Shore mini golf course. You can see one of them on that surveillance video climbing the fence with it before dropping it. Police in Cape May says it happened last weekend and are still investigating. That's Nightly News for this Friday. I'm Tom Llamas. Thanks so much for watching. Tonight and always, we're here for you. Good night. We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.